Hi there and welcome to C'est La Vie Dawn. So today's piece I am using a cheese dome I found at Mission's thrift store for $3. It is not very big, about 5 inches across, but I really fell in love with this piece for $3, and let's jump in to show you how I am going to flip this thrift piece. Okay, so I've taken my piece and just cleaned off the base, and I'm using this home decor chalk in sheepskin, and I'm going to give it a coat of chalk paint. I used several different brushes for this, some thinner brushes to get in the groove of the dome, and then I just worked with some different brushes and just get it all painted up. Once I've got it chalk painted the way I like it, I'm taking a foam brush, dry, and I'm just wiping off some excess paint to show a little bit of underneath around, and it's giving it really an old look when I did this. So this is what I'm doing here, just dry sponging it, drying the sponge off, taking basically a layer of paint off. And you can see it's starting to show a little bit through the bottom. Next, I'm taking a block sander and I'm going over the sides and a little bit in the grooves on the top just to give it a bit of an aged look. You can go as much as you want or as little as you want. I kind of went in between. I don't like my stuff overly done, so you just see me here playing with it. Once I've got it sanded to how I liked it, I cleaned it off, and I have printed an image off the internet from Graphics Fairy. I will link Graphics Fairy down below. I chose this bee and foliage image. Thought it'd be beautiful for spring. It's vintage, it's black and white. I absolutely love it. And I am just cutting it out here so I can place it on the base of the dome. These images are copyright free, so it's a great site to get images from. Next, I'm using some matte Mod Podge, and I'm going to give the center of the dome a good layer of Mod Podge, not overly thick, but a good layer of the Mod Podge. Next, I'm going to take the image and place it face down on the dome base, on the piece of wood there. And I'm just pushing it in with my fingers. You could use an old gift card or anything like that. It honestly doesn't matter. I'm just using my fingers, and I'm just pushing in the paper, rubbing in the paper to get it to adhere to the Mod Podge. Decoupage, you can use whatever you want. I just have Mod Podge. Once you have it all laid down, you are going to let it dry. Once it's completely dry, I placed mine by my fire so it didn't take too long. It took about an hour, but you could leave it overnight, a couple hours. I'm taking a wet microfiber cloth, anything wet. If you're using something that's not wood, you could even do this part and run it under water. Now you're just going to get it soaking wet, so that's a really wet cloth. And you can even lay your cloth over and leave it, which is what I have done here. I just left it here, got it really wet, and came back. And then when you come back, you can start rubbing the paper off with your cloth and also peeling it off with your fingers, scraping it with your fingernails as you see me doing here. And as you can see, the image has copied from the paper onto the wood, and we are just taking off the paper here to show this beautiful image. You can see the paper coming off the cloth here, and I've laid it down one more time to get more paper off. Now, before I get into the rest of the video, I want to tell you guys today's challenge is part of the Thrift Store Flip Collab hosted by Sandra from the Chihuahuan's Nest DIY, as well as these 5 other wonderful creators who have all joined in to share all of their thrift flips with you guys. So please go join them. The playlist is down below in my description box. Please check it out, everybody, and you will be amazed what these ladies have come up with. So go join them. And I am going to show you how I finished up this DIY thrift flip. I had this Mod Podge matte clear acrylic sealer, so this is what I sealed mine with. I may go back down the road and find a food grade one so I could actually place food right on this. You will see in a minute what I did, but I sealed it with this because I needed to seal it and give it a bit of that shine I wanted. So this is how it turned out after it dried. And what I wanted to show you guys is some different ways that I am going to be using this in my home. So the first thing is I don't have a honey pot. If I'd had a honey pot would be perfect in this, but we do have honeycomb. So because I use the acrylic sealer and this is not food grade, I placed a piece of the honeycomb on a doily. You could put crackers on here and a honey and some cheese. Again, it's not a very big one, so keep in mind I wanted mine for just honey, and when I find a thrifted honey pot it will be going on there, but I'm using the honeycomb here, and I had placed this knife on there. I just got it out of my silverware collection. It's a little bit too big for the dome, so I just showed it like that. Next, I took some bees I had from the Dollar Tree. They are really bright yellow, and I wasn't fond of the look with the vintage I was going through, so I took the clips off and then I gave them a dry brush coat with my chalk paint, same chalk paint sheepskin that I used for the base. And unfortunately my camera did not pick up what I was doing, sorry about that, but you'll see when I place them here in a minute. And I just give them an overcoat so you can still see a bit of the yellow in the background, and this way I can display them when I don't have the food on them. Here we go. Another way I can display them is I have this cake stand with this dairy garland wreath, really farmhouse looking, and I've placed my dome on top of that. And it sits on my kitchen table. I will insert a photo of how I displayed it this way. I placed it really underneath. It really suits the aesthetic of my home. So this is one way. Then this is it on its own, just with 2 little bees in it. It is just a simple, gorgeous piece. I absolutely love it. I want to thank Sandra for hosting this thrift flip and all of my fellow ladies who collabed in this. Thank you so much, and everybody go check them out in the description box below.